As it is time, we'd like to start the program. From here on, different companies will be participating in a demo stage. We have first from SBI R3 Japan Company Limited, Head of Business Development, Corda Evangelist, Mr. Munetoshi Yamada. So over to you, sir. Thank you very much. My name is Yamada from SBI R3 Japan Company Limited. I look forward to having this discussion with you. I'd like to talk about supply chain management. From that perspective, I'd like to present the target of the session is new businesses of businesses and those who are engaged in planning and those who are promoting digital transformation. Blockchain and supply chain management, how should they view the relationship between the two? We hope that we can give them some leads as to how to go about doing that. As to the flow today, broadly speaking, we'd like to talk about what the themes there are for us to study and what solutions there are, and from examples, what we can learn from case studies, and what is the focus SDGs. We'd like to address that, and we'd like to talk about the COVID-19 because we find ourselves in this situation. So first of all, supply chain management. On supply chain management, this is a use case which is very much under focus. If you look at what is in the red line, there's manufacturing and distribution and retail and consumption goods. And these are being studied in the context of blockchain according to reports. Now, why are these themes under so much focus, and what themes are on the minds of people? Supply chain management, you can think of it as a commercial distribution, commercial and distribution flow. And you have to, in terms of commercial flows, you give characteristic of the original to the data, and this is to be shared between companies. And this is making contracts digital in a safe manner, in a trustworthy manner. If this can be shared among companies, you can talk about finance based on that. That is something like trade finance and distribution and blockchain. That's simply put, talk about traceability. And then through traceability, the flow of goods is made visible. And so the damage risk or loss risk related to the goods can be grasped more accurately. So specifically, what are the solutions? The first point, group companies, common contract management and the use of that. And yesterday, Toyota Tsusho Systems provided this and talked about it and talked about Toyota's contract management. You may be groups, companies in a group, but there may be frictions in relation to a contract. How do you create a system where the company can move very quickly? They'll be able to respond quickly to changes. And that is what was discussed yesterday on transaction lending. In the case of platform, they become platform providers. They collect information in one place, but you don't have to do that. Companies, if they had transaction information disparately, if they can be used commonly in a trustworthy way, then you can use the data. Inventory finance, inventory, to real time grasp inventory information. That's very difficult. But with traceability introduced, real-time companies can share this information, and if that can be shared, it can be shared with the banks as well, and finance possibilities arise from this as well. And supply chain order traceability, people have had traceability with regard to one's own company, but other companies' traceability cannot be be trusted as is. So how do we ensure trustworthy traceability throughout the transaction? Here lies the potential for blockchain, and this is when there is a recall, you can click a button, and if you can look at traceability, that would be very effective. And SDGs will also be involved here. I'll talk about this later on. And the flow of goods become visible, and traceability becomes possible, and a damage risk can be grasped, and then you can dynamically change the insurance premiums in response to this and create a mechanism for that. To talk about the case study of SBI, this just started in July, and there's not much I can share, but in terms of concept, you have this hexagon lined up here, and many players cooperate to achieve something. And this is not just one company. There's a commercial transaction, and there's a flow of goods. And throughout the supply chain, how do we upgrade this? And when you think about this, throughout the overall supply chain, production plan sharing, and the achievement track record sharing, when that becomes possible, the group becomes very competitive. And this becomes a platform provider itself, and the way companies fight the competition will change. In terms of SDGs, you have typical supply chain here. The buyer doesn't want to bully the supplier. They want a stable supply of goods, and they want to build a supply chain which enables that. And under such circumstances, how do you evaluate the supply? Like they have been doing in the past, the low-cost, high-quality goods suppliers. They want to choose such suppliers. It has been the case in the past, and it will be so in the future. And recently, SDGs is another criteria which is used in evaluation. Do they use environmentally friendly goods, or do they use child labor? They want all of this to be visible from the standpoint of the buyer, the supply chain as a whole. Of course, they cannot see information from the supply chain as a whole. So through the supply chain, they want to ensure traceability. And if they can prove contribution to SDGs, will become a supplier who is chosen. And we can use this information in terms of financial institutions evaluation, and there are actually entities that do that. And lastly, talking about COVID-19, the corona vaccine development is underway at the moment, and naturally, according to a report, you need vaccines for 20 billion people, and it's all right, it's fine to create the vaccine, but there'll be losses in the process. There's loss during the delivery or shipping, and if it's just a loss, that's fine. Or if it's stealing or resale, that's a problem which arises because people want these vaccines quickly. So how do you prevent theft and leakage, and so that vaccines are distributed worldwide? And how do you know that it's been distributed worldwide? It would be vaccine DB. If you centralize this, you will have this information immediately. So who can create this vaccine database? No one has the answer. So pharmaceuticals and distribution logistics companies and the hospitals have managed information. The hospitals will manage because they will start to inject the vaccines. They will have accumulate information. If you put all of this together, you will be able to see how much of the vaccines have been injected. And it's only blockchains that would be able to do this, to make this possible. And so that is what I wanted to introduce. I'm sorry I have given you all of this very quickly. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Mr. Yamada, thank you very much. Next, we have from Ginko, Mr. Morikawa, who will be giving a demo, co-founder and CEO of Ginko. Over to you, sir, Mr. Morikawa.
Hello, this is Morikawa of Ginko Inc. Ginkgo is a company of digital asset management. And the digital assets that we provide is a security token, utility token, and crypto asset. And we need to address the rules and regulations, and we are able to address all of them. And this is about the digital asset management or custody. What is it? We often talk about hot wallet, cold wallet, and also management of secret keys, and also talking about crypto asset on public chain. This is not exactly wrong, but it is not exactly right either. Digital asset management is about security and also about operation, compliance, risk, and maintenance and operation. In other words, digital asset management spans across different business operations, and we provide support to all these aspects. We provide solutions and products. Digitalization of financial assets. Yesterday and today, those of you who are taking part in this event, I'm sure you're convinced that we will see progress in this area. And I want to stop here and think about what would impact the development of digitalization of financial assets. In this phase, this is the growth of digital asset growth. On a 0 to 1, thinking about use case, these are the opportunities that we have and use cases that we have, and we often talk about this. But in order to grow from 1 to 100, management and operation becomes a key. And that's why digital asset management is the key topic of my presentation. Digital asset management relates to credit, scalability, and operation. These are negative impacts on business. If these are lost, there could be leak of information due to malicious operation. And for scalability, there could be opportunity loss for business expansion. And in operation, there could be increase in running costs, such as labor costs, in due course of business operation. Once this is clarified, credit or trust is very important, that no malicious act has been conducted, illegal act has been conducted, and scalability could be achieved, and operation could be optimized in order to reduce cost. This is a reference to the crypto asset industry. There's been a rise, as you can see. It's not only the data break that caused the slowdown, but when it comes to administrative punishment, it's all related to management of digital assets, and that has led to business issues. And for regulatory environment, the number of currencies that are addressed by each regulatory authorities in each jurisdiction is different, so it's not an apple-to-apple comparison. But digital asset management perspective could have a big impact on the business strategy overall. For the user's perspective, all business operators should have safe management, be able to address drawdowns immediately. A lot of huge effort is put into this area. But under the surface, there's a huge burden, for example, operational cost. And if a less scalable system is installed from the first place, growth will be slowed down. And especially under COVID-19, people might not be able to shift to working remotely from home. So there are a lot of challenges that is not on the surface. Protecting the security, the more we focusing on security, the burden on the business operator increases, and we will not be able to put enough care on that. So security and user experience, ensuring balance between the two at a high level. This is a major challenge and pain point. User experience for the general users as well as employees of the company, and also usability on the business side also needs to be taken into account. Security and user experience, maximizing Ginkgo Enterprise Wallet is being provided to the market. So for digital asset management, as I said, covers broad business operations, and we provide these solutions, as you can see. For example, the digital system, we are able to conduct 100% cold management of customer assets. Off-chain execution process in-house could be made very efficient by completing the entire loop digitally. Who was the sender and who was the receiver? The entire log could be digitally kept. Traditionally, this has been done offline, but the end-to-end digitalization has been enabled through our solution. Risk management division in-house could be linked with outside AML tools and accounting management tools. Risk management requires collaboration with outside entities, and we ensure that to happen. Hacking could happen, and in such a case, we collaborate with insurance companies in order to provide a special insurance package. Apart from that, these are some complementary services. Operation of nodes and provision of infrastructure and backing up of asset management data is also provided. Through the support, our services will help alleviate the burden on the part of the business operators to be able to accelerate the growth. And this is not only applicable to digital assets, crypto assets, or digital securities, or digital currencies. The needs are slightly different, but we have a wealth of digital asset technologies. Therefore, we are able to cater to different technologies, and we will be able to provide the best and optimal solution. We have broad capability for management, so being able to end-to-end support services on digital assets, and we also can provide asset management applications for end users. Now that we're seeing a full-scale introduction of digital assets at the business level, we hope to build the future of this industry together with their support. As for products, from a security perspective, I was not able to provide a full demonstration. If you are interested, please contact us. From 6 o'clock on the 27th of August, we'll be holding a matching seminar. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. Morikawa-san, thank you very much.
さて続きましてはアーリーワークス代表取締役小林聡様
From Early Works, Mr. Satoshi Kobayashi will be giving the next demo. Are you here, Mr. Kobayashi?
小林聡様です。大きな拍手をお願いいたします。
Mr. Satoshi Kobayashi, could we have a big round of applause for the speaker? So please, could you start, Mr. Kobayashi? Thank you very much for the kind introduction. My name is Satoshi Kobayashi from Early Works. I'm CEO. I'd like to talk about, before I start talking, I have Mr. Ryotaro Namba, who's our very capable engineer with us to help me. There is not much time, so I'd like to speak very quickly. With regard to Early Works, we help new business development or blockchain product development. We support this as well. Our central work is a new blockchain protocol development, design and development. What we developed is the grid ledger system, a new blockchain system. And up until now, it was the world's fastest blockchain, a Chinese blockchain. For one transaction, approval was 3 seconds. But this is a 0.2 super hybrid high-speed blockchain. This is 0.2 second. What the people can perceive and will not feel something odd with it. That's 0.2 seconds. A high-speed design is also often asks for 0.2 seconds, and we've created a blockchain which clears the standard 5 units, 10,000 PPS transaction. So in 1 second, 10,000 processing is possible, and that's the kind of blockchain that we realized. And today, in January this year, in Docomo Open House event, we've displayed this. And actually using this, we'd like to show you a system for preventing resale of tickets. Very briefly, to explain the screen, on the very left-hand side, the operator prepares the ticket, 10 tickets. And this is the seller, original seller. And it's managed using transaction hash. And where it says original seller, we have for each ticket hash. And from the website, if the user buys a ticket, what kind of a blockchain transaction will be structured? This is made visible here. And this is the user, one user. And this is this user buying a ticket through a smartphone. Now that's user 2. He has the same characteristics, but he has the ticket resold from the first user. Then what kind of a blockchain transaction transpires? We'd like to have you see that. The smartphone EKYC is already running, and there's only it's already proven that in the digital scene it's unique. So let's buy the ticket. It's a live ticket. There are 10 tickets remaining. And there's a screen which says, do you want to buy the ticket? I've skipped over the settlement screen, but naturally credit the card settlement, the settlement screen can be provided. And so let's purchase the ticket. If you click on buy, it says the first ticket has been transferred to user 1, and that's made visible here. And the title to the ticket has been transferred to the user, and that's very clear. And secondly, at the live hall, let's use the concert hall, or let's use the ticket. The ticket is displayed using QR code. It's a typical QR code ticket. And you take the smartphone and you over the gate system. When the QR code is recognized, it says, are you truly who you say you are? And if you approve, let me try it again. If this is approved, the gate opens. The gate has opened, and it tells you to take the ticket. And if you look at this, user 1's title goes back to the original seller. But the use of this ticket, the right of use is not transferred. Proof of ban is used so that even if the original seller regains this ticket, he cannot use the ticket. Let's transfer the ticket again. User 1 purchases the ticket, and the transaction is such that the title is transferred to user 1, and user 2 engages in a transaction and receives the ticket. If the ticket is sent from user 1 to user 2, what happens to the ticket? User 2 does not have a ticket, but you can renew this screen, and the ticket is displayed. And if you look at this transaction from user 1 to user 2, the transaction has occurred, and you can see that the ticket has been transferred. And user 2 uses the live ticket. It doesn't seem to appear. Can you process that there? Oh, here it is. And if you approve this, the gate opens. And if you look at the transaction, as in the case previously, the data goes back to the original seller, but the ticket cannot be used by the original seller anymore. And there's an application to this. You can show your student card or service transaction profits, proceeds can be traced. And you can increase the value of the ticket. And the application is such that you have to read the QR code. But it's pretty much the same as the applications that you are used to in terms of speed. And it's certified very robustly. The users, there is not a blockchain which allows for sufficient speed to enable use in business. With regard to new business development and so forth, we have expertise. So if you're contemplating developing a new business, please inquire with us. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kobayashi, thank you very much. Now, the next presentation will be a co-founder and COO of Keychain, Mr. Mishima Kazuyoshi. Mr. Mishima, the floor is yours. Mr. Kazuyoshi Mishima is here for the presentation. Today, I would like to talk about the two products and services of the company. One is the next generation blockchain and existing framework combined in a framework. And the other is data management and digital signature availed software that you can use on your smartphone from today. Those are the two things that I will be covering in my presentation. To start with, recently, many companies are launching blockchain projects, but many of them have only ended at the POC phase and has not been put into actual practice. And I think we can come up with various reasons. One thing, the good aspects and bad aspects of distributed ledger is not used in the right way. And that's one reason. And there are buzzwords like smart contracts and making people have an illusion that it provides a solution for everything, but yet there's a long way to go. And also there's very few that allows for smart devices, and the other is identity or security that is covered. There's very few blockchain technologies that cover those aspects. And these are the challenges that our products and solutions address almost completely. And we are able to provide a platform through our Keychain core, DLT and blockchain to be used under a hybrid architecture is provided through this solution. The costs and production phase could be reduced. The cost will be reduced and the cycle time will be reduced. Self-sovereign digital identity is one of the features provided through Keychain Core. In an IoT or robotics world, we would need to be able to recognize who that robot is and being able to identify the immutability of the data is also very important, and having the traceability and data security. This is the framework that will be provided through this software without having to go through the development phase. And the applications that companies already have could be combined and integrated, and the integration is the only process that you have to go through. In other words, not many engineers are required for the development of this blockchain, and the use cases could be achieved in just a matter of a month. Yesterday, we announced, together with Toppan Forms, who has been using our keychain core solutions over many years. And what they've released is this wearable device, private information that is captured through the wearable devices. Toppan Forms doesn't want other companies to be able to see such information, and also wants to go out and get the access codes for them. The heartbeats could be captured in an encrypted manner and bring them onto the cloud. And the access to the information will be controlled on cloud. Together with Toppan Forms and Murata, the POC that these companies use, we have been successfully able to put together this architecture. And apart from that, although it is not disclosed, this platform, the framework, is used in preparation for issuing digital currency across other jurisdictions, and some power companies are working to ensure the immutability of information that is captured from their smart devices. And we're also seeing customers who are eyeing the possibility of IoT combined with our technology. So that was about the framework. And you might be interested in introducing this from tomorrow. In that case, we have a software called Keychain Pair. It has a global DX support framework. It allows for document management, digital signature that you only have. You can sign it and encrypt it using the self-sovereign identity ID, and also allows for communication, chats that is only accessible by those who are permitted. And there's a workflow where you can leave a trace or evidence. As a product, we have email and data security enhancement for Outlook. It's an add-in structure. And just by introducing this into the Outlook that you're using, no more zips or no more passwords are required. CEOs of companies, the PC could be authorized, and once it is authorized, a very secure exchange of emails and data is possible. You don't have to have a spoofing email detection system in place. Some of our clients, JCB, Toppan Forms, and Chubu Electric Power, and there are many other clients. Hosting, POC, planning, and consultation. Those are some examples of support that we can provide. Smartwatch and IoT devices could be included in the scope from now. We were probably one of the rare such companies, and the cost has been reduced by a lot, or implementation has been possible within a month. We have been able to receive these voices from many of our customers, and there are many companies who are thinking of leapfrogging by adopting our software and technologies. So these are some products that we have, and those of you who are interested in going in DX, please feel free to contact us. Mr. Mishima, thank you very much.
Last but not least, from SBI Ripple Asia, Vice President for Sales and Customer Success, Mr. Keisuke Fujigaki will be giving a demo. So, Mr. Fujigaki, please. Thank you very much for the kind introduction. I'd like to talk about the next generation international remittance solution, RippleNet. This is the agenda for today. Sorry. We'd like to talk about Ripple company with which we have a joint venture. Ripple was established in San Francisco in 2012, and it's a fintech company to banks that conduct international remittances. RippleNet is provided. Financial institutions and general companies have financed. In 2020 August, globally we have 10 bases, so we have over 450 employees. Next, to introduce our company, in 2016, Ripple and SBI established a joint venture company, 60% held by SBI and 40% financed by Ripple. And centered around Japan and Korea, RippleNet software is sold by ourselves. At Ripple, we have this vision of Internet of Value. So information can flow freely. We want to also make money be able to flow freely throughout the world. International remittance optimized commercial software. RippleNet is provided to financial institutions. The software and XRP are leveraged to provide frictionless and safe and maintainable, high quality maintenance qualities are provided. We have over 300 companies to which we have supplied RippleNet. Actually, at the Ripple network, in global cross-border transactions, RippleNet using remittances are conducted, and it can be switched to local rails of respective countries, and it can be remitted to the final receiving financial entity. There is such an ecosystem. There are financial institutions which have not introduced RippleNet, but they can still have money remitted, and that is the kind of network we have built. In terms of challenges for international remittances, GPI is emblematic of SWIFT, but the remittance is very slow, cost is very high, and there is a high degree of uncertainty and lack of transparency. These are considered to be challenges. To resolve these issues, Ripple has been focused on software development, and new network development is what we're working on. In a nutshell, DLT technology-based RippleNet software, by using this speed and certainty is guaranteed, and the transparency is very high, and errors are close to zero, as close to zero as you can get, managed in transmission and in remittances. And RippleNet software and the way it functions will be explained from here on. This is the present typical remittance network. The financial institutions, in addition to SWIFT, are connected using API and other means. And for new connections, the specification must be aligned and operation has to be established. At RippleNet, in order to resolve this issue, we provide a common API, and we use rule books so that system operation is made common throughout all of the financial institutions. let me talk about RippleNet. And the left hand is the sending financial institution. The right hand side is the receiving financial institution. From the sending institution confirms the account, and from the sender to the receiver, the amount is notified and an estimate is obtained. And the receiver does FX and commission calculation and sends it back to the sender. The sender will, if he accepts these conditions, there is an agreement which transpires, and the amount is kept in each of the ledgers, and so the balance cannot be changed after it's established on ledgers of both sides. The ledger balance, as when settlement it's released, we call this atomic settlement. For each of the ledgers, the amount is maintained and settlement can be conducted. This function uses RippleNet core technology. Internet ledger protocol is the technology that we use, and the process can be done real time, and that is the distinctive characteristic of RippleNet. And this is the last technical slide. On-demand liquidity, ODL, is what we want to describe here. The RippleNet solution is two-layered, and ODL is such that it's premised on RippleNet software. It's an optional solution from the. This is a use case where money is sent from the United States to the Philippines. At the exchange from USB to XRP, it's exchanged, and the destination financial institution sends the XRP to the exchange, and from XRP, the money is changed to peso. And to the receiving institution, peso is delivered. And this is completed within several minutes. A Nostro account need not be created. And on-demand liquidity securing becomes possible. ODL is proceeding, obtaining approval from each of the monetary authorities. Another case I'd like to briefly explain, as time is limited. This is the case of Vietnam. TB Bank in 2019 used RippleNet, and it's the first company that introduced RippleNet in Vietnam. The distinctive feature is that those who participate in the RippleNet, the financial institutions that participate in RippleNet can receive money within several minutes. And when there are arrangements with other entities, money can be remitted as well. And this is the last example. MoneyGram. I talked about ODL. MoneyGram, as you know, has coverage which makes it possible to remit money worldwide. But the liquidity cost is very high, and transaction volume where cost is very high and transaction is very low. It is not very profitable. And through ODL, on-demand liquidity is provided so that the liquidity cost can be reduced. And lastly, this is a summary. To summarize today's presentation, RippleNet provides 4 benefits. Firstly, blockchain-based common API and rulebooks can be used so that the systems and operation can be standardized and integrated, and cost and time can be reduced. Secondly, two-way communication, high speed and certain settlement is possible. High quality service becomes possible. And thirdly, through the use of ODL, Nostro account need not be accounted, and on-demand liquidity can be ensured. Fourthly, leveraging this benefit, a new business can be developed, and entrance into new markets will become possible. I'm sorry I've rushed through this presentation. If there are financial institutions that are interested, please inquire with us. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you very much, Mr. Fujigaki.
And with that, we have come to the end of this stage.